Welcome to the Scratch Dance tutorial. You're going to go to scratch.mit.edu, and if you haven't signed up yet, you would go into Join Scratch, use an inconspicuous name, so not your real name, please. If you have signed up, go ahead and sign in, type in your username and your password, and get yourself all set up here. So once I am signed in, I can save things in my project folder, which is next to my name up here. But if I have never created anything before, I would go into Create to start. If, while creating, you are running into any snags, sometimes you can search for what other people have done, which is the nice part about using this software online. So if you want to say, look at the one I've shared, you type in my name here, MMM, capital, and then lowercase ERK. Once I hit enter, I should come up at the top of the list right here, MMM ERK on Scratch. I'm going to click that. Here's the project I am sharing. So here's something very nice about this software, is you can click on My Project. You can play it to see how it runs, but even better is you can go in to see inside. If there's some coding in here that you're wanting to use, down below there's a tiny little arrow, and that arrow is your backpack. You can see I have some stuff in my backpack right now. All you would need to do is say I want this coding. Granted, that's not a lot of coding, but if I wanted it or needed it, I can drag it in my backpack, and it is in here to use later. So if I go out of this, back into the Scratches page, and either create or into my folder, into my project, I can add that in my project. So if you're working with partners, one person's really good at coding, have them do all the coding on theirs. Make sure they're sharing their project, which would simply be clicking the button Share up here. Okay, you're going to find their project, perhaps follow each other, and then it's easier. Put it in your backpack. Here it is. So let's say I needed the coding in here to go into this cat or this sprite right here. I would just simply drag it into that sprite's script. So now this one's going to do the same thing that's in this coding. He's going to say, let's dance. He's going to move, have some little sounds going, change color, etc., etc. So if I hit stop, maybe this isn't something I need, I can drag this off. But that's just to show you how you can work together on this. One person's going to have the final copy. I want you to name that up here, Final Dance Party. And please let me know which member has that. So to get rid of a script, you just right click and then left click on delete. We would like a backdrop, which you can design on your own if you want to. If you have an artistic person or somebody who just simply isn't very busy, they can find one online. They just need the URL to go into the directions of your game or your interactive story. So let me know if you have questions about that. Do not use something from the internet and not give it credit. If you have something from here, you're fine, because it is all covered in terms of copyright through Scratch. So you can choose something in here like Boardwalk, for example, and click OK. To get that, I clicked on this little image here. If I scroll over it for a moment, it'll tell me it's called Choose Backdrop from Library. If you have something from your computer, you would go into Upload Backdrop from File. It's a little folder with an arrow. You can upload your sprites as well. So let me show you how to upload your sprites. You would have your sprite in the share drive in your classes folder. So if you have a hard time finding it, just let me know, please, but that's where you should have it. And you're going to try and open up your minion. When I open the minion, he has a white background around him, even though he's saved as a ping. So to get rid of that, I go into costume. So I have to be selected on him, costume, paint bucket. And similar to Illustrator, we have a cross out here, which means transparent. And you can see the checkerboard as well, so there are some commonalities here. If I click on the white backdrop now, if I'm on this paint bucket and no fill, then it will fill it blank or transparent. So I got rid of that. I can make him smaller with the shrink button here and click that here in the stage. And then I can move him down so he looks like he's not trying to walk on water, unless that's something you want him to do. So now my minion needs at least 2 costumes. That's what the rubric says. So in order to do that, you can either design in here, we can hit duplicate, and we can paint in here. We can paintbrush, we can crop, you can select things with this little tool here. So I can just simply select his feet, move his feet over, rotate him with this top little circle here, etc., etc. Now that's going to take some time. I'm going to X out of this and delete him for a moment. Let's pretend somebody in my group had been working on that. and I backpacked what they did so I can add it to our group project. So here's their sprite. I'm going to drag it in. You can rename them in costumes. So if you click on here, you can name it Sprite 1, Sprite 2, Jimmy, whatever you want to name it. Okay. Now there's going to be a sound for this character, but it can just be pop or drum or something already in Foundation. So I'm going to move them into place. We're going to go to Script, and you'll see if my partner already did all this coding, it's already there. This is extra that I have here on the screen. That's just something for fun. This is basically what you guys will need, with the exception of change color. That's not required. And your conversation can change because it's your story, not my story. So your other character is going to be the person in your group who was photographed. In order to get those, you're going to go here where New Sprite is to upload Sprite from file. And you're first going to open up, we're going to pretend I'm in our folders, our team folders, okay, although these are already in the software. You're going to open up one picture, just one. Select that sprite, which is perhaps you or somebody in your group. Now we're going to go into costumes, and you're probably only going to see one of them in here. I have 4 in here because Scratch automatically uploads all of her costumes. You're going to see only one. So to get more, here is where you're going to need to click Upload Costume from File. So you're going to select that, go into Shared Drive, and do that probably at least 2 more times. Cassie happens to have 4 pictures. Some of you might have taken more than 3 pictures, but the minimum requirement is 3. And you can click on these and see how they rotate and get some ideas. Now remember, if there's a white background at all, when you open it, just go into this costume here, paint bucket, no color, and get rid of some of that white space. It's okay if there's a tiny bit of white around it. I'm not going to deduct points on that. Okay, so we're going to go into Cassie's script. Since the minion is done, let's say I'm the group member now who's going to program the person who we photographed. All this person needs to do is basically switch costumes. So let's click on minion right now, and he is saying let's dance. So this green flag is what starts everything. He's going to say let's dance. Here's all the coding to make him move forward and backward, which is required. So forward is a positive number and backward is a negative number. In between I have some sounds playing. They can be a little different, they can be the same. So I have drum 16 and drum 1. I put a weight 0.1 instead of a whole number so that when he switches costumes it's not too fast or too slow. And here's next costume, and just for fun I threw in change color. Those are, the purple ones are under looks here. So costume, changing color, those are all in there, as well as speaking and thinking. And when it's done, outside of the repeat that I have in my control folder here, is repeat, outside of the repeat I put your turn, and he is broadcasting that message. That means my other person here now needs to receive it, which is in events. So when I receive your turn, it may be already in there, I named it that, okay, or you can switch what message they're receiving. Something's going to happen. Perhaps she's going to talk. So we can say, he said, your turn. Before that was let's dance. And I can say, you're on. And if I have a short message, 2 seconds is fine. Please adjust this if you have a longer message. And I also want to give my player something to do to get music going. So I'm going to say, press M for music. Now I need to program that as well. So here's sounds. To get your Foundation song from someone in your group, you're going to go to Upload from File, go into your Shared Drive, and open up a song. I'm going to exit out of here for a moment. Actually, let me get some sort of a song up. So we have a couple of songs in my folder here. I'm going to pull up something from last year. Okay, I'm just opening a random MP3 file here. Yours, of course, would be your song. It's going to be converting it into your Scratch software, which is perfectly fine. So we're going to let that all load in. You'll see all the sound waves here. This should be on the person's photographs from your group. Okay, let's say my song starts farther in, it's a little more exciting, so I don't want the build-up part, which was a part of our assignment before. But for this, if you don't want it, what you can do is click, drag, and go to edit and cut if you don't want that part in there. So you can edit it a little bit in here. If you have another sound in, you can just hit this little X, get rid of it. Now just the song is there. So now I need the control, or sorry, the event of when something is pressed. I'm going to switch this to M because that's what I told my user to do. And I'm going to go into sound, and I'm going to play the sound that I have loaded in here, which is called Cat and Rat. It's just something I had in my files. Yours is whatever your song was, even if it's just song. And then I'm going to have Cassie do something. So she's probably going to need to switch her costumes. I want this to happen more than once. I can put a forever loop in here. I'm going to put a wait as well, so she doesn't switch costumes too fast. So let me put that in a moment. Looks. Next costume is all you need. It's going to repeat, repeat, and then have her switch over and over again. So if I hit this right now, you'll see she goes really fast. So I'm going to take the wait, place that in here, and put in a decimal point, so maybe 0.5. And now when I hit M, and she kind of dances. Of course, I'm telling the story. It's not a song. Yours is going to be a song, okay? So now he is doing something else here. This is just extra coding you can see inside my project to check it out. If you don't want something like this, you can just drag it off. And now the basic assignment is done. So this is what we're doing. I encourage you guys to go onto Scratch, search for other ideas, like how to make them glide or float or spin or whatever you want them to do. You can search for that in this search bar, find other people's projects, see inside, backpack something you love, and perhaps even use it for yours. Don't forget to go to my website, which if you're watching this tutorial, you're probably already on. Go to classes and go to Scratch Dance and check the rubric at the bottom of the page in order to find out how you're going to get the best grade possible. All right, have fun, and I'm looking forward to checking out your projects when you're finished. Remember to tell me who in your group finished the project. That person is going to need to name it Final Scratch Dance, or Final Dance Party, sorry. That way I can grade that for you. It does need to be shared, so you would go into your folder here where your projects are, and if it's not shared, you would click on it, like this one isn't shared right now, and I would hit share up here so that I and other people can see it. Have fun, everyone.